I'm so sick of the QAnon talking points. Listen, I mean, there's so much to debunk there, and it's
there we
really...
go. The name.
Vinny, you had your moment, okay? Please, I've been very quiet here, listening to you guys as the woman, as you explain misogyny to everyone.
I knew you were going to go there. I love women.
You know, because I'm oh, you love women. I'm sure they love you too. Listen, this is going to be determined by women. This election is going to be determined by women.
Vinny from the PBD podcast went on Piers Morgan Uncensored and got into a extremely heated debate with this woke idiot here live on Piers Morgan. It's always content. It's always great whenever Vinny from the PBD podcast goes on Piers Morgan and debates these idiot leftists. This might be the best one that I have seen yet from Vinny. Let's get into this clip here from Piers Morgan of this PBD podcast host absolutely destroying this idiot libtard.
And I think that is her problem, is that people think she talks in a kind of word salady way, and that Trump, for all his, nonsense sometimes, at least has a quite clear messaging marketing process, which he just rams home the same things again and again and again, and they do resonate with people. How concerned are you that with just 3 weeks to go, that Kamala has that issue of she was probably a pretty left-wing progressive. She's barreled her way back to the center as fast as she can, but people aren't really buying it.
I don't think she's
part of the misogyny.
Sorry, Tim, I was for Wajah. Sorry,
go ahead.
I think that's part of the misogyny that Tim was talking about, that when you look at a career professional like Kamala Harris, who was a district attorney, who was an attorney general, who was a senator, who was a vice president, and who's now running for president, who has come out with record rallies, a record amount of enthusiasm, and who right now is leading in the polls. You compare her to Donald Trump, who just yesterday, literally, and I'm using the word literally as it's meant to be used, at his rally, instead of answering questions for 39 minutes, I've never seen this before in my life, I'm 43 years old, just sat there swaying and dancing, right? He literally canceled a CNBC interview just today, about an hour ago. He refuses to release his medical records. He canceled the 60 Minutes interview. He refuses to do another debate. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris says, okay, I'm going to go to Call Her Daddy. I'm going to go to New Media. I'm going to go do 60 Minutes. I'm going to do Howard Stern. I'm going to go to Stephen Colbert. I'll do another debate. He doesn't want to do a debate. I'll do a town hall. I'll even go to Joe Rogan. This is called a campaign that is run by professionals. This is a professional politician, a professional public servant who actually knows what she's doing. Now, the razor's edge, like we all discussed, is because it is going to be a close race thanks to the Electoral College, the battleground states. She is going to win the popular vote. I believe she will win the presidency. This reminds me more of 2012, where the polls were very similar, and a lot of people thought, Obama's not going to pull through. I think she will. I think she's doing a really smart thing right now by going on Rogan, all these other outlets, trying to win over the argument. And I agree with Tim. I never thought I would say this. I agree with Tim that we do have a misogyny problem and a racism problem in America, which is why some people, some young men who realize Donald Trump has only a concept of a plan and no plan, might not vote for Kamala Harris. But I do believe she has the enthusiasm and she will get it done. All
right, Vinny, your response to that?
I mean, first and foremost, anything that's negative about Trump, I always refer back, Piers, as you know. We've already had the 4 years of Donald Trump. I don't know what this guy's talking about. It sounds like you're getting paid by the Democratic Party. We've already had 4 years of Trump, and we were winning, okay? Look at this past 4 years. You please tell me, you talked about her career as a, in San Francisco and everything. What did she accomplish when she was there? 146 laws that she tried to get behind, none of them were passed, okay? She has an abysmal record. If anything that we've seen in this past 4 years, you think that, what's Kamala going to do different? I'm just curious. What do you think Kamala's going to do? I don't care about the enthusiasm. I don't care about the men for Kamala. Sure. Please tell me name one policy that she's going to do that's going to save America from this past 4 years that she's been involved in. I'm very curious. Very curious.
I'm curious to see if you guys in the chat and honestly answer the question. Don't, obviously we're all probably watching this wanting Donald Trump to win this next election. Whether or not you're a full Trump supporter, I don't really care. You're probably wanting Donald Trump to win this next election. I'm curious to see if you guys can name a singular policy that Kamala Harris is really strong on, like that she has mentioned, that isn't the one that she stole from Donald Trump, or the fact that she isn't Donald Trump, because that's all that I've ever heard Kamala Harris say. Vinny brings this up all the time on the PBD podcast, and so do Patrick Bet-David and all these other guys. They talk about it all the time, and everybody has kind of picked up on it now that Kamala Harris is going on all of these different shows. every time Kamala Harris is asked to make a stance, say something that she actually believes in, state a policy that she is wanting to push, she says, well, you see, guys, I'm not Donald Trump. And all the Democrats just eat it up. I'm curious to see if you guys in the chat and the comments can name something. And I'm very curious to see what this guy says here.
Sure, you don't have anything. There's nothing. Wait, ready for this?
Can you let me speak?
Before you go, is it the border?
Hang on.
Yeah, is it the economy?
You asked a question,
let
him answer. Bajad.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
All right, here we go. Unlike Donald Trump, she's not going to unleash the military on U.S. citizens. He promised to do that on the weekend. Unlike Donald Trump, she's actually support Obamacare and strengthen it, not destroy it. Unlike Trump and Republicans, she's going to actually fund Social Security.
That's not a policy.
Yes, it is. She's going to fund Social Security and she's going to fund Medicare. Donald Trump and Republicans said they want to destroy it. She's going to reinstate Roe v. Wade. She's going to try to actually make that into law, unlike Donald Trump and Republicans who overturned it, and which is why they're going to lose the election, because they attacked women, women's rights. They're going to go after contraceptive and IVF. There you go, genius.
Vinny? You're a genius, Vinny, apparently.
That's that. So that, yeah, thank you. I'm a genius. But like Piers, let's just face the facts, okay? All the fear, all the mongering, all the everything. I've already lived through 4 years of Trump, okay? And Kamala Harris, say what you want, she wasn't the president. She was with Biden the entire time.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
And he's been throwing her ass under the bus lately. He's saying every decision I made, she was right there with me. So for all the real Americans that are sitting out there listening, everything, all the problems that you have at home, the inflation, the border, the Venezuelan gangs taking over apartment complexes. Are you ready for this? A tornado, hurricanes destroying Florida, and our government, FEMA, Alejandro Mayorkas and Kamala, give them 700, excuse me, let me finish. I live in Florida.
This has been
$750. Meanwhile, this week, meanwhile, this year, we've given $100 billion to freaking Ukraine, to Israel and everybody. Not one American should ever suffer or be asking for money, ever. We're America first. Trump's America first. Biden and Kamala are America last. And the numbers show it. Don't act like I'm sitting here like some right-wing maniac. Okay? Look at the stats.
You're showing you're a right-wing maniac.
Namiki, you sound like a right-wing maniac.
You don't even know what
Namiki, you've been I think you were calling Vinny God throughout that response. So what? Explain yourself. Why you think he's so godlike?
Which, by the way, the black, like, I understand what Vinny is saying here. I completely understand, and I somewhat agree. The whole black pill for this whole thing, though, and it's really sad to say, a lot of people are going to get mad at me for saying this, is that neither of the candidates are actually America first, in my opinion. You know, Donald Trump can say it all he wants, and, you know, his supporters can say it all they want. In reality, you know, he's mentioned the Middle East so many times. He's mentioned that, you know, Ben Shapiro's favorite country over there so many times, you know, and his vice president has as well, and everybody in his cabinet is going to be mentioning it as well. The reality is everybody is sold out to these countries, not just in the Middle East. You know, it seems like the left is more sold out to China, and then the right wing is more sold out to that, you know, Ben Shapiro's favorite country over there in the Middle East. But the black pill and the whole thing is like, if Donald Trump wasn't going to support that country, he would have no chance of winning. He wouldn't be the nominee. That's just the bottom line of it. Donald Trump has realized that. And I think he's just playing along. He's just playing the game. So it's really sad to say. I know Vinny is very passionate. And Patrick Bet-David says the same thing on his podcast, that one side is America first, one side isn't. And I think there's definitely one side, which is the right, Donald Trump's side, that is more America first by a wide margin. He will actually look to improve America rather than just throw it down the drain like Kamala Harris and Joe Biden do. But in terms of actually being America first and what its true meaning is, I don't think there's any candidate that's truly like that. And that's the real black pill, because if any candidate was actually truly America first, they would have no chance of winning, and they would make sure of that. And by they, I mean, you know, the people who are really running the world, they would make sure that didn't happen.
Who is this calling Vinny God? I wasn't calling him God.
Well, you were saying God repeatedly. I wasn't sure if you meant he was a god.
Oh
or
my
you
God is what I was saying.
I know. I was yanking your chain.
I'm so sick of the QAnon talking points. Listen, I mean, there's so much to debunk there, and it's
there we
really...
go. The name.
Vinny, you had your moment, okay? Please, I've been very quiet here, listening to you guys as the woman, as you explain misogyny to everyone.
I knew you were going to go there. I love women.
because I'm oh, you love women. I'm sure they love you too. Listen, this is going to be determined by women. This election is going to be determined by women. And women are not only, we saw it in 2022, this country has turned out in...
Why does every woman, whenever they get into their super boss queen mode, why do they all have the same exact mannerisms that they think make them look so cool and so powerful? They all do that like little hand thing that she was doing just a second ago. You see that little hook thing that she's doing with her left hand there? Like, they always do the same thing. Like, this election will actually be decided by women. I am a very strong and powerful woman, and I always do the same thing with my hand whenever I get into my boss queen mode. It's like, holy shit, somebody needs to... Oh my god, I have to watch what I say. But yeah, I would love to see this person be put in their place verbally, and also possibly allegedly physically would be nice as well.
Women are not only, we saw it in 2022, this country has turned out in response to Roe v. Wade, not just because it's an attack against abortion rights and abortion access and the right to choose, but also it shows that the Republican Party and Donald Trump have had an agenda, not only through cutting off clinics, funding to clinics across the country, attacks on IVF, not only with their online agenda, like Tim Pool here, who was funded by the Russians, let's not forget, that they had an agenda to sway young male voters into being radicalized through disinformation campaigns. This is all out there at this point. Part of the gender divide here right now, is because folks like Tim Pool and others who once said that they were Bernie Sanders supporters, who I worked for, were suddenly pulling people away and pulling young men away and radicalizing them. So I think we have a problem with young men right now, and that they don't respect women, as you're seeing with Vinny. They don't respect facts. They don't read newspapers. They don't understand polls. They don't
respect what?
Legalizing them. So I think we have a problem with young men right now, and that they don't respect women, as you're seeing with Vinny. They don't respect facts. They don't read newspapers.
I thought she said they don't respect women and they don't respect fats, like fat people. I was like, why? He said facts. Okay. Yeah. I wonder why young men don't respect women. It's probably because they act like this and it's just so obnoxious. It's like, just please, my ears are piercing. Please just stop talking. Nobody cares what you have to say.
Papers. They don't understand polls. They don't understand misogyny. They don't understand people of color, and they don't understand that immigration bill was blocked.
And you know what, Namiki,
Donald Trump and his Republicans.
Namiki, I'll come to Tim for a response, but Namiki, what you may not understand is it's precisely that attitude towards younger men that is driving them to Donald Trump. And I think the election in the end will not be won with women. It will be won with men. And interestingly, increasing numbers of Black American men and Latino American men. So Tim Pool,
can I just challenge that for a second?
You can challenge it.
Men don't turn out at the same rates as women. It's really important. Women have a higher rate of turnout, they're more reliable voters, and young women are more left than they've ever been because of a lot of the online hate that they're seeing. So while Tim Pool may not like this, the majority of men actually do respect women and do like to talk to them. And I think, is there misogyny? Sure.
Why would Tim Pool not like people to respect women? What's he said that makes you think that?
What did I say to this lady?
I watched his commentary in response to the Kamala... This lady, I have a name, Tim. I've called you your name.
Okay, nobody cares. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. This Vinny versus this woke, insane lunatic. I cannot stand people like this. I can only hear her talk for so long, and it's going to ruin the rest of my day if we continue this any longer. Let me know in the comments, though, what you think about the PBD podcast host, Vinny Oshana, going on Piers Morgan Uncensored and destroying both of these woke lunatics live.